when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
That's Amore.
What is going on? Welcome back to this hobby of ours. As you can see, I'm still kicking it crazy fresh in Los Angeles. And today I'm with my buddy Amore from Second Time Around Watch Company, my good buddies Leo and John. Leo has escaped the wrath of the camera for now. Leo, we are coming for you. And John is a little under the weather, so they offered up their worker Amore to me today. And we're going to do a bunch of bombing around Beverly Hills, hit the rodeo drive. You know, let's hit Rodeo Drive. I was over there the other day. It's a mess.
Oh, it's all over the place. I mean,
gosh, the salespeople there are so not nice to me. And it's, you know, I'm wearing my Hobby of Ours shirt, so I'm not really dressed for it.
Yeah.
But look, make a sale. I could be a producer. You don't know who I am.
I totally agree. I think a lot of the times there's some sort of like vibe people give off. You know, as opposed to just, you know, you never know who could walk in, like you said.
I could be the assistant of someone important.
Of course.
And be in there trying to get a watch or whatever. But you know what? Not everyone in Beverly Hills is bad. We've got our very good friends, our trusted suppliers, Second Time Around Watch Company. Speaking of which, we made off with a couple of the watches. Sorry, John. Not that I'm going to head for the border with it, but I finally got this Angelus chronograph on wrist. Been chasing these for years, bro.
Those are nice.
Yeah,
they're nice.
You guys, this is a different one, but you guys had one about a year ago that, in truth, I should have bought. I love it, and it's partly because I used to watch Buffy and Angel back in the day.
Okay.
You know Buffy and Angel? Were you born then?
I think that's
I don't think you were
before
born.
me.
Yeah, that's okay. Anyways, whenever Angel was a bad guy, he went by Angelus. Anyways, what are you wearing? The camera's over here.
Yeah, okay. So this is a Heuer Carrera 2 register chronograph.
Love it.
You know,
Rose City.
It has that panda thing that everybody goes crazy for.
Rose City, this one's for you. I've bird dogged that watch in the case because my buddy Rose City loves the Carrera.
I mean, it's just a beautiful watch. Aside from the all the technicalities that chronographs of this era have, I think it's just gorgeous. It's beautiful.
And all my watch yapping and excitement over having these watches, I think I missed Rodeo Drive. I had to pull a Yui.
Yeah, we're like 2 minutes from it. Yeah.
Is it this way or is it that way?
That way. That way.
Okay, cool. Pulling a Yui. Anywho, so thank you for. Wait, were you glad that they nominated you as my companion today, or was it like, oh gosh, that guy's back?
No, I love this sort of thing. You know, I feel like as a store that offers vintage watches to this community, we should be more involved in like
social media.
YouTube necessarily, like specifically, just because there's a little bit more of a person-to-person thing there, and I think that's what people at the end of the day want. They want an interaction. They want a connection.
I mean, in any watch deal, you have to vet and know who you're buying from.
Yeah.
Like 100 times more important in vintage because of all that.
Yeah. Like there's so much nuance to the watches, and
it's not even just that. It's like people swapping in parts or something.
Exactly.
Or Franken watches.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to remember how long I've known you guys. It's gotta be because I knew you guys before I actually met you in person, because I used to live out here.
Okay.
And I forget how I discovered the store, but I think I was back east when I did. And I was just, you know, hawking through the store listings, checking things out over the years. And then I just come out one year and met you guys in person, and then, you know, been, I think, working with you guys ever since. So these 2 watches are available on the website. Go ahead. There's always a link in the description of my videos to their website, but go there, check out the watches, check out the other stuff you like there, and write them and ask them for the friend price.
Yeah.
As Leo says, everything's negotiable. But tell them you saw it on this episode and ask for the D special, the Hobby of Ours price point, the Beverly Hills cruising around price point. Anyway, how did you meet those guys? How did you get hooked up with them in the first place?
It was a very interesting it was out of the blue, if I'm being honest. You know, I wasn't necessarily looking for a job.
Yeah.
I just happened to go online just on a whim, and I just went on Indeed and I started looking stuff up. And it's crazy because I've been into watches, specifically vintage watches, for a while now, and it never occurred to me to look up
and do that as a job.
Do it as a job, but even more so than that, like just look up a store here in Los Angeles that I could
hiring.
to see that if I could visit, or even just look, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know they existed.
Oh, that's funny. Dude.
Which to me, I don't know if that's a bad thing on my part that I didn't know. But anyways, I went online. I ran into their listing for a job. Yeah. And
what was the job listing for?
Essentially, it was photographer. They needed a photographer for their listings. They wanted somebody to manage the social media. And just, you know, it's a very small operation. It's only a couple of us guys in there. So aside from that stuff, it's also just helping customers and, you know, running the store. But I love it. It's I'm in an environment that I always wanted to be in, you know, with the whole watch thing. And it just worked out. I wasn't really, you know, forecasting myself to like want to be in a place like that. It just happened.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I'm happy. I'm learning a ton. I'm learning a ton of things.
You've been there like for what, a year now?
A little bit over a year. Yeah, I started in like summer of last year. So it's great. It's great.
How did you get into vintage watches? Because a lot of your generation has, my phone tells the time. Yeah. Or the iWatch. Why didn't they name it the iWatch? The Apple iWatch.
I don't know, man.
Is it because watch is a noun and a verb?
I don't know. I think a lot of the marketing at Apple is just what sounds right.
And I don't hate on them. I use it for when I go to the gym for heart rate monitoring. It's just I don't go to the gym.
But it's not. I wouldn't call it a watch.
No. It tells the time, but it's not a watch.
Yeah. That's what I say.
Dude, we're making history right here. It tells the time. It's not a watch though.
No. It's just a phone, like a mini phone on your wrist.
Okay, so I interrupted you. How did you get into vintage in the first place?
So a long time ago, I don't want to go too far back, but
take it back to the Stone Age.
I used to work at the airport, and I always would see, you know, people wearing.
I think I missed Rodeo Drive again.
Did you?
I think I did.
No. Keep going straight. It's going to be a little bit up ahead. Anyways, I would always pay attention to what people would wear, right, on the wrist. I had
your TSA?
No. I used to work at a duty-free store.
Oh, okay.
So it's a completely different thing. I used to sell perfumes. It's so weird.
Who's buying? Like, you know what? I like the duty-free store, but I don't travel internationally, so I don't have to buy there. Yeah. But they've got like huge bottles of scotch.
Oh yeah.
Who is buying that at the airport?
They would have this whole crazy like alcohol section. Yeah. They would have like cigars. They would have like chocolate.
Were people buying a lot of the cigars and scotch?
It's a lot of it, like you're saying, internet, because I used to work at the international.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I don't know if it's a novelty.
You were watch checking people there.
So I would always look, even before then, right? Like I would just look and see what people would have, but I had no knowledge of anything. I didn't even care to look or investigate. Until, like I was mentioning the whole airport thing, they had a section on watches, right?
Oh, they were selling watches there.
There was a watch section, like boutique.
What were they even? What did they?
It wasn't great stuff. It wasn't great. I mean, they had lawn jeans, but none of the stuff that we know today. That's great. It was just kind of like very consumer.
Lawn jeans are making a comeback.
They are.
Less,
This what I'm talking about is like probably like 5-6 years ago. So
right on.
Very different.
Basically mall watches.
Yeah, exactly. Very different market. Very different vibe. Like a lot of this watch craze wasn't even a thing back then. Not as prevalent as it is now. Right. But when I was there, I had knowledge. The only brand that I really had knowledge on was Daniel Wellington, and I wanted to get something nice, right? I wanted to get something, you know, that was a little bit above maybe just like not a Seiko, because I didn't even know what that was, like a G-Shock, right? A Casio, but. I just couldn't get over the fact that they were selling those watches for like $200-300. Wow. And being the person that I am, I just started investigating, and I just started like typing things up in YouTube or Google, like what are alternatives, like what's out there, what's the what is it looking like for that price point, and that just opened up the floodgates to everything for me.
Well, we just hit Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, just made a turn.
Let's wait for people to give us sneers or ignore us completely. In truth, I'm in a rental car, and this rental car could probably use a car wash, but I'm not getting a car wash for a rental car.
Nah.
Anyway.
But yeah, man.
Okay, so after you went down the rabbit hole, and it's like you voluntarily jumped down it. What's an alternative?
Yeah, because it's like I just couldn't make myself come to the if I was going to spend $300, I needed something more than just it looks nice. Yeah. Maybe that's just me personally.
No,
I just started diving in.
Because I liked them when I was a kid. I remember going into the department stores and liking to look at those watches. But when I come back to it as an adult, I kind of zoomed in around that price point as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I was looking at Christopher Ward's because I wanted to find something that was Rolex-esque.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself, oh, $400 is too much for a watch. I would never spend that.
Yeah, of course.
That is so far in the rearview mirror now.
Oh, yeah. Now it's the complete opposite. And I think that I'm why am I I would look at a price, and part of me is tells myself how did I get to this point that $5,000-$10,000 is not that bad.
I know, seriously. So in your personal, this is a fun question. I love to ask people who are in the business, whether you're a watch salesperson or working for a company, or if you're the owner of a store. You get so much influx through just being on the job, right? You can wear whatever there. When you go home after hours, what is in your personal collection? Okay. That, what's at home that you didn't borrow from the store?
Yeah. Well, what I have...
is it a lot or is it a little to start off?
It's a good amount, but they're all along the same vein, kind of going back to the origin story, right? Of how I got into watches. I've always been interested in the whole aesthetic side of watches and design, more so than the technical movement oriented mechanical side of the watch world.
So you probably like Cartier.
I love Cartier. I think it's one of the great watches. So I do own a Cartier.
But we need to respect their horology too. They're not
100%.
They're not just a pretty picture.
Yes, 100%. I think they do play more so on the whole design aspect, but they are that's watchmakers in their own right.
That's one quartz watch I could justify spend on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I've experienced them. I actually modded one.
Okay.
Heavens to Betsy. Checking the back catalog for Cartier modding, because why should the Seiko people have all the fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against modding. I think
what's worse? You know what the funny thing is? I made it better.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Better than Cartier. I'll show you a picture after we're done hanging out. But
yeah.
Okay, so you're doing the watch photography for the website. What else are you doing for them? You said social media.
Yeah,
are you the Instagram?
I do the Instagram, okay. Yes. We definitely want to, go a little bit deeper in that and expand and be a little bit more creative. We're doing more in Instagram than we used to.
Okay.
But, like I said earlier, I do think that personal connection is what people want. And yes, at the end of the day, we're selling a product, but we want people to feel comfortable with us, and we want people to get to know us, because like I said, we're a small operation. It's only a couple.
That's the hallmark. It's if you know the people in person.
Exactly. It's only a couple of us in there, and why not get to know us? We're happy to help you guys, and be
that's
there
awesome.
for
I happened to, on this trip, have you noticed the transition of the Prius drivers? Prius drivers used to be so overly safe and nice. Now they're kind of jerks. I don't know if it's just me and my observation.
It's the LA thing. I think you have to be. Everybody's driving defensively.
That's too funny, dude. All right, so watch goals.
Yeah.
I don't like to use the word grail for a handful of reasons, but I mean, obviously there's some watches I admire that I'm simply never going to own based on price point, let alone see them in the flesh. But what's one that is, let's call it, I like watch goals.
Yes.
Right? What's a watch goal for you?
Well, I mean, there's so much out there. It's hard to even think of a place to start.
Throw one or two up at the board.
Well, I like I said, I like Cartier. I mean, I'd like to own one of the Santos Dumonts. Not the, I mean, the Santos that most people know, the very like Gerald Genta-esque watch. That one's cool. I love that watch, but I like
precious metal or steel.
It probably would be precious metal.
All right.
But I like the I don't know necessarily. I think it's the 90s version of the watch that harkens back to the original.
Yeah.
It's the Privé model, the one that's very thin. But it's the Santos Dumont.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's the one. I love that watch. That's a watch that I wish I could own. It's not extremely like far out of my reach. It's just, you know, something that I have in my crosshairs, I'd say.
Well, crosshairs is a good way of putting it, because I talk about hunting all the time in this context. I'm chasing down a GMT. I do want to own a Rolex GMT. And I do want the left-hand drive.
Okay.
But I noticed in the store before we left, you guys have a two-toed.
Yeah.
I'm going to see, you know, John, can I borrow the two-toed for the weekend, please? Please? I promise to bring it back. Gosh. All right, so we're going to get into some more fun today. Thank you for coming along on the ride, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And thank you for coming along on this ride. Hope that wherever you are in this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours, that you are doing well, that you are blessed, and that you are rocking watches. Peace!
Bye, guys.
Perfect, dude.
Awesome.